Good evening, this is Nick Inman from VolumeProfileTrader.com on Monday, January 9th, and looking at the S&P here, we got more of the same today, which was consolidation within this small 10-point range or so, 15-point range, and we're going to see a breakout one way or the other sooner or later. It's just a matter of time, and your job as a trader is to be patient and wait for it. The trend is definitely to the upside right now, but we're still at the top end of the range. We need to push higher than the recent highs, or I should say the recent price action we've been sitting in. Once we clear 1280 with some significance, then it's probably up towards 1300. So it's really between 1270 or so on the downside now. That's how I see it, and 1280 on the upside. Whichever one breaks first is probably the one way you want to lean for the next couple of days, after that occurs. But obviously the trend's up, and I've actually increased my SPY hedge, which long puts, but both the 128s and 127s for SPY. And the reason why I picked up more was because I also extended my exposure to the upside. And we're going to go through those names that I bought today that I'm expecting more upside in. One actually made its move after hours, which is Cirrus Logic. This is now up 6% after hours, up 3% today. So it's had a nice move, and I was lucky enough to catch it this morning when it was close to flat. It was less than 1% up, but I love how it's been consolidating, and this $16 to $16.50 level, it's been such a critical level in terms of volume, and I love that we're breaking out of that range to the upside after a really long period of consolidation, and we haven't cleared the way for a move higher, but this looks great, and it looks like something, unfortunately up 6%. It's pressing towards 18 after hours. It may be above that. So it's at the top end of the range, but on any weakness, anything in the mid-17s, I think you grab this and just start scaling in and hopefully enjoy the ride to 21 to 22. Walgreens, it's a similar idea. We're holding this 3250 level or so, which is the bottom of this high volume area. And as long as we hold that, you can place a stop right underneath these last few days of consolidation and expect more upside. Expect a test of 34.50, hopefully more towards $35.75, $36. Really what you'd love to see is 37, but you have to start with the most obvious, which is 34.50. Google, keep your eye on this. It's definitely off the highs, almost $50 off the highs in 3 days. But realize that it is a $600 stock, so it's like a $67 stock going down to $62. Yeah, it's a pretty good size move, as it's down 4% today. But don't shy away from this. Get ready to step up and buy this thing in the 16s. And I think that's going to be an opportunity where you can define your risk, because with a stop really below 600, I see. And the reason why is because 600 is a psychological number, and we have some great volume. We want to see it stay above the value area high for the year, which is 606.87, give or take $5. But so you want to see this thing make a bottom probably tomorrow, maybe one more day of selling, but just be aware. Similar with MasterCard, we got a little bit of a bounce today off this high volume area. I think you can get long this name at 345.82, start scaling in, and realize your ceiling's probably about 380. I like this name. It can definitely pull back more, but I do think it's an opportunity for some upside. The last time it was at these levels, it was the right time to be a buyer, and likewise, we're gonna wait and see if it's gonna be that again. American Express, I think this thing's going to break out to the upside. It's had a good couple days, just consolidating and continuing to make higher lows intraday, which is good. We haven't made higher highs, but just keep an eye on this. If we start pressing higher, you want to add on to this name with expectations of a breakout up to 52. But if we don't and we can't get above 49.50 or so, then look to scale back out and keep a small placeholder position, because the timing is probably just not there yet. Amazon, I initiated a short on this Friday, and against the 1 year point of control. It's worked today. What I actually did was I sold a call spread, and I collected premium, and I sold the 185 by 195. I collected $3 or so. The risk reward wasn't, I'm risking $7 to make $3, but it's a trade that I've already got to take some profits in just because it's worked out so well, being that it was right at the money and it was a complete reversal with the time decay over the weekend. So that one worked out pretty well. Still holding it, half of it, seeing if I can get some more profits. If not, I'll close it out in the coming days. EMC, keep watching this. I like the fact that there's a big volume bar at 21.80 and we're right above that now. If this thing presses above $22 with some strength, some real buying, I would like to say it's going to press back up towards 24 or so. But also for a longer term position, this could be a real nice winner. Ford, stay long, stay strong. It's not telling you to get out yet, though we are getting to a point where we're probably going to see some selling pressure. What you want to see is a pullback to hopefully $11, but probably more towards $11.40, and that's where you want to start initiating a bigger position. Marvell pressed up against resistance, doing nice. Stay long, stay strong. If you're in Marvell, realize that we are at some resistance, but I do think this is going to be a breakout and a continuation to the upside. Monsanto, just like everything else, stay long, stay strong. This is a name that you should have some exposure in, hopefully at least. Nvidia, keep an eye on this. I think you wait until we get above $15, but if we do, that's where you want to initiate your position. Morgan Stanley, another day of consolidation, though it was up 2%. This has been so volatile lately that 2% isn't that big of a deal. But what I do like is another day of any type of strength, and we'll be clear out of this trend line. And so long as if we can close above 1630, it should be off to the races with Morgan Stanley. Goldman Sachs. This is a name I continue to have a call spread on, 95 by 1. It hasn't told me it's wrong yet. What we're just doing is consolidating, and we have this, tight consolidation waiting for a resolution. One thing to recognize is every day the market's been open the last 5 days. Only one has been a down day. So that's good. That means it's been closing at or above its opening price 4 of the last 5 days. I like that, and I like that for a potential move higher. All I need is it to get to $100, and that's where I plan to take profits. CMA Comerica, another day up. We covered this over the weekend. Hopefully you just got involved today. Unfortunately, I wish I caught it back at 26, but I didn't. But I still think this has a ways to go. JDS Uniphase, don't take your eyes off this. Let me zoom in a little bit. We are at the top end of the channel, and that's something to recognize. But also, any pullback, don't you want to be buying against this point of control for the year? I do. And you can see the volume that we're getting off of this shows that this stock's being accumulated. Alright, US Steel, people want to be long this, but we're about to get the true tale if we need to be long this. If we get a bounce tomorrow, if we hold $26, then it's going to be right to stay long US Steel. If not, then I would look for more downside actually. AK Steel definitely resting at the top end of the range. I see this little inverse head and shoulders, potential. The trade would be from $5.51 up to $9. So call it a $3-4 move to the upside. You're looking at $12-13. You see there's absolutely no volume in this range. It would have no problem piercing right back up to those levels. Alright, Steel Dynamics pausing today. Definitely the best of the steel, but it's really a do-nothing trade right now. Freeport, keep this on your eye. It's at the value area low. We're definitely struggling. Still have a little bit of selling pressure here. Any move basically above $40 is going to be a buying opportunity. Cliffs Natural Resource, I would stay away. Lulu, this is probably going to break out, but it's already gone. It's already made its move. If we get a pullback below 50, that's probably a level that you want to get involved at. But for now, I'd stay away. TJ Maxx, if you're along this name, I would be looking. It's just so extended, and it's eventually going to come back in. Keep this on. Realize where your level's at. You have a low back at 63.42. That matters. But from there, it could fall back down to 60, and this is a slow mover. It takes a while to catch those gains, so just be aware of the fact that it can come in some. The last thing I'm going to cover is Salesforce, and I'm looking at this. Maybe we get a bounce up towards 110. If that's the case, you have about a 9% move. That's not too bad for a stock that's definitely taken it on the chin the past couple of months. Realize we are in a downtrend, so this is a counter move trade. But given that there's no volume within this one, let's see, I'll give you the exact. Basically, today's high is 102-ish, up to 110.50. There's really not much volume, and that's why I think that this thing can run up to those levels. So just keep it on your radar. If anything, you can sell maybe a downside put spread if you're familiar with that, or a call spread. Maybe 100 by 105, just to be on the safe side. So, anyways, actually, I have one more name I want to cover. Three more names, sorry. Chesapeake Energy made a nice little dip and rebound today. It's still weak. I thought we were going to see more of this. We're not. If we continue to roll over tomorrow and make a new intraday low, maybe take your small losses and move on. Alright, Alpha Natural Resource. It's coming into the point of control for the year. We're looking for a positive close, and that's when you want to get long this name, with expectations of a move higher up to at least 25, hopefully more towards 28, 29. Dell, this name looks like it's about to break out, maybe even tomorrow. Pressing up on its point of control for the year. We have this little triangle pattern. I'm long this name, and I've been selling covered calls against it for the last 3 or 4 months. Got paid to wait. I brought my cost basis from selling 16 puts. I've brought my cost basis from 16 down to 1583 or 1523 because that's how much I received in put premium. So my real cost basis was 1523, and then I sold the 16s again for I think 2 more months after that, and lowered my cost basis below 1450. So right now that's one way to take advantage of big sideways moves, is to you want to be long the stock, you want to be involved, but you want to get paid to wait, and you can trade around the position some. But one of the easiest ways to do it is when volatility goes up, or if you have some type of spike in the move, or the underlying, and you expect the underlying to stay within a range, go ahead and sell an upside call 1 month, or maybe even 2 months out, and you'll find yourself profiting from the time decay a lot of the time, just because the stock doesn't have, there's no incentive for the stock to move. like Dell, for example, the last 6 months it's been consolidating. It's probably due for a move up towards 16.5 or maybe even 17.5. So I like that idea. And gold, this is the last thing I want to cover. And actually, I'm going to bring in this chart. It's a 30-day, 1 hour, and right now we are failing. That's not. I want the gold contract. All right, right now we are failing against this top of the high volume area, 615. Keep an eye on this, but I see this low. We had a swing low down to 1570 or so. A rebound back up to 1640. A sell off down to 1523, and then complete rejection from these lows back here. So I kind of just draw a line at those, where this was complete rejection. So long as we hold or close above 1590, 1595, I think gold remains a buy, and I think it's something that you want to continue to be long, but realize there's a downtrend. We're at the top of the range, but we are bouncing off the point of control. And the gold this is the gold futures, 1523, 1524, a direct bounce off those. We are at resistance, but looking for some type of hold around 1600. So just keep that on your radar. If you want to look at silver, it's definitely consolidating within the downtrend. It looks similar to gold on this 30-day chart, just because this move down was complete rejection. Let me delete all these. This was complete rejection, and now we're holding basically where it got rejected from. So long as silver holds 28.50 or so, it should stay good to the long side. And the last one I'll cover just to make it easy, crude bouncing off the point of control for the last 30 days. Keep this on your radar. It may have bottomed here. It kind of looks like how the S&P did a couple of months ago or so, where we had a downtrending channel and then it eventually broke out to the upside, and that's when you wanted to get long. So I think oil, you really look at this point of control, you can see if I zoom in even more, it's been the lows all but one time. We came down, made new lows, and it was completely rejected. So long as we stay above $100.78-ish to 101, this oil's probably going to be up in the next couple of days. And natural gas, just to look at it, keep an eye on it. I'm just interested in seeing if we can determine the bottom on this, not necessarily to go long, but just to verify how good volume profile is. We haven't gotten that yet, but we may be getting close. I like the fact that this $3 level, it's holding for now. We have a nice big volume spike down here. If it becomes the point of control, you may have a trade to the long side on natural gas. And while I'm at it, I guess I went way over than what I wanted to, but copper, it looks like I need to zoom out one to get the full effect. Looks like we have a triangle pattern forming. I'm going to extend this to the right. Love how it finished. Strong, bounced off the point of control for the last 90 days. We should be looking for higher prices in copper, which is good for Freeport, which is good for a lot of the names in the market. And I think this market remains a buy, but realize we are at the top of the range. If we don't start making new highs soon, people are going to start selling into this, and we may see more of a pullback. So just realize that's the case, and I'll see you tomorrow.